Hello and welcome to a brand new video. This video is basically gonna throw right back to the summer. I think it was around June when I started filming clips for this, explaining how I was feeling about the process of moving abroad, specifically to do with diabetes and medical stuff. I have now been in Austria for 2 months, and I will talk more about this at the end of the video, but overall it's going really well and I feel very settled and I'm very happy here. I have made really good friends, not necessarily friends with diabetes, I know a couple of people with diabetes here, but I've made a lot of good friends and I'm making some really good memories, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. But for now, let's throw it right back to the first clip I filmed, which was in the summer. I was just sat on the field near my flat and the sun is about to set, but I was just thinking about the fact that I am hopefully moving to Austria in about 3 months time, I think. Yeah, 3.5 months time. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I'm feeling for it right now, and hopefully I'll remember to document in another month's time and after that as how I'm feeling in preparation for it. I think I've been talking a lot this week to various people about my plans for my year abroad. So I did the Together Type 1 toolkit session talking about how I'd prepared. I've been talking to my parents about when I want to move and when they're gonna come and visit or help me move and everything like that. So I think it's just been on my mind a lot and I am looking forward to it, and I think talking to people about it from the Together Type 1 session and just other people with diabetes has made me realise that I am looking forward to it, and there are a lot of aspects to it that I'm really looking forward to. I've wanted to do this for so long, and I've wanted to go to Austria specifically for years, and I'm so excited to get to do the teaching placement and to explore the city that I'm going to be living in and just to experience another culture, because I'm probably not the kind of person who's going to do this again much in the future. So I do really want to make the most of this opportunity and the time that I have there. But I think when I talk to anyone, or not anyone, but when I talk to a lot of people outside of the Type 1 community, it feels as though they don't quite understand the severity or the fear and the anxiety around moving to another country with Type 1 diabetes. Or I guess it's similar if you have another chronic illness or something along those lines, because it's scary not knowing whether you're going to be able to get your prescription sorted straight away. Will the spares that you take with you last properly? Will they get lost on the way? Are the attitudes in this other country different to the attitudes where you are? Are people going to judge me more for injecting in public? Or I read something the other day about how CGMs aren't always as accessible in Austria and other European countries, so am I going to struggle to get my Libra? And I think just the fact that this year I've got so much from being part of Together Type 1 and meeting other Type 1 diabetics in person, going to events. This time last year I went bowling and I've done various other things in person, and then doing the UKPC, and then the other day I went to volunteer at an 11 to 15 event, and it's all been amazing, and I always feel so just inspired and supported after going to in-person events, and to potentially have that lost for a period of time is kind of daunting, because I feel that's really where I found myself and where I felt the most at home this year. So not to have that for a year, I think I'm going to struggle with. And I think the other people from within the Type 1 community, and specifically from the Together Type 1 community, understand that and understand why that's so scary for me. But I think there's a lot of people outside of that who are oh, but you can still do online events and you can still do this, or you'll be absolutely fine because you'll meet people. But I think when you've found somewhere where you really have a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging, it's quite hard to leave that and go off into the unknown. And yeah, So I'm hoping that I am going to enjoy it, and I think I will once I'm there and I've got everything sorted. But I'm nervous, and I think like anyone else, like regardless of their diabetes, I'm nervous to leave my friends here and to go to a new country. And I'm not particularly worried about making friends there because I'm quite a sociable person and I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy getting to know new people. But I am nervous to leave everyone here and to think about how much things are going to change while I'm away. So yeah, very mixed feelings at the moment. This isn't going to be a long addition to the video, but I move out of my second year accommodation in a couple of days, and obviously I am sad to be leaving. The sunny weather is making it slightly more bearable, and I am excited to go home and spend time with my family and my friends from home before I go travelling in France and then move to Austria. I now have my flights booked for Austria and then my flights home at Christmas. And it's definitely making it feel more real, and I have started to think about what I need to pack, and I've worked out collecting the keys for my accommodation. So there's a lot of kind of logistical details that are now being figured out, which very much does make it feel more real than it has done. But as much as that is scary and stressful, it's actually, I think, making things feel a little bit better, because I now know that I have the flights booked. I know that I am able to get into my accommodation on the day that I'm moving, and I've got an appointment booked to get my visa because the last appointment had to be cancelled. So I'm starting, I think, to feel a little bit better about it and a bit more confident that everything is going to get done and that everything will be okay. I wouldn't say that I'm like really looking forward to it yet. I think I've got a lot going on between now and then. Quite a busy summer, but yeah, things are falling into place and it's definitely helping the anxiety. Hello. I do not know how well the audio on this video will work, but it is almost exactly a month until I move to Austria. I'm currently in France, in Rheims, just in a park, and yeah, I thought I'd do a mini update on how I'm feeling about moving. Having come to France, and this being the first time I've been abroad since my diagnosis, I definitely feel better in terms of managing like security and talking to people in another language and being able to get the things that I need. Just kind of reassuring myself that like moving to a new country and having to like do these things in another language will not be a disaster, and that literally like I think I'm 5 days into my trip to France, maybe 6. I already feel much more confident talking to people in French and it's coming much more naturally, so I think that side of things has definitely reassured me. However, I, as you might be able to hear, have a cold and got a cold on like day 3 of the trip. So being ill with my diabetes is definitely making me more scared about doing the year abroad and moving to Austria, because I just feel like when I'm ill, I need other people to do a lot for me, and I'm going to be on my own, and that's going to be really hard. It's also making me just, I think, a little bit more nervous overall, and I think I've started to put a lot of pressure on my year abroad, because like obviously most people know that I'm planning on going and all of that, and I'm scared that like if I get ill or if something goes wrong with my diabetes, then I'm not going to be able to manage it and I'm not going to be able to stay there like I have planned, and then I will feel like a failure, or people will see me as a failure. And I think as much as people try to reassure me that that's not the case, like I think it's just going to be an insecurity and a fear that I have. There's definitely potential for it to go either way really. Like I've definitely seen the positives and had the negative emotions this week in being in France, so I guess it's just a case of waiting to see and of trying to believe people when they tell me that like it wouldn't be a failure if I don't cope with the year abroad, but also having the kind of belief in myself that I can do it, and even if it is hard, like if I give it a little bit longer, then chances are I will feel okay again. So yeah, there's lots of children around. This is the 1 month prior to leaving update. This is a very short update. I feel like I'm very close to the camera. Anyway, it's a very short update about my year abroad because I was supposed to be leaving today to fly out tomorrow. But because there have been bad weather warnings all across Austria, I'm now not flying till Wednesday. Has been very stressful to get all of that sorted and just making the decision to delay it. But I think it's definitely the right decision. And yeah, we'll see how I feel by Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Hello. So I know I've done a couple of updates over the last few weeks about my year abroad, but I don't think I've done a proper update for a while. Basically, I was supposed to fly to Austria last Saturday, the 14th, but due to weather warnings, flood warnings, I decided to delay my flight. So I moved it to Wednesday, which would actually have been today. However, then due to the state of the flooding, I've had to postpone it again to this Saturday, the 21st. So it has been an incredibly stressful week because I hate not knowing what's going on, and I've basically spent the whole week being like, will I be able to go, won't I be able to go? So that's been very stressful, not knowing like whether my accommodation will be okay, whether my teaching job will still kind of be going ahead to start next week as planned. Also things like electricity, transport, those were kind of the big concerns. It is now looking a bit better, it's looking safer, so I feel happy going on Saturday. But it has been a big adjustment in terms of I'd been nervous about things, but I hadn't even considered the idea of flooding and stuff. But now I know that the town I'm moving to is actually quite susceptible to it. So I'm kind of just hoping that that doesn't become an issue through the year. Yeah, I tried to make the most of having this week at home, because obviously I didn't think I'd be here. In total over this summer I literally thought I'd be home for 2 weeks between being in France and going to Austria, and I've ended up back for 4. So that is nice in some ways, but I do just want to get into a routine and stuff like that now because it's been so long. So yeah, it's been a stressful week, but I am now going on Saturday, and that looks like it shouldn't have to be rearranged. So hopefully give it a few days and there will actually be an update from Austria. So as what will probably be my last update from the UK before I go, I am currently doing the last bits of packing, so I have done everything kind of normal. The last bits I need to do are I've just cleared my test kit out and restocked it with lancets, test strips, that kind of thing. Made sure the batteries are working in the actual glucometer. No idea how I say that actually. Glucometer. The test thingy. And then I need to do my insulin, so I need to make sure my current insulin still has plenty in. I only changed my Fias yesterday, so that's fine. I think I might need to put a new cartridge in my Levemir tomorrow, so I'll take an extra spare one with me. And then I have 3 cool bags and 2 Frio pouches to fill with insulin to use over the next few months. So my plan is basically kind of to take as much as I can fit in, because I will be registering with a GP hopefully once I arrive in Austria and getting my prescriptions done there, but it's kind of reassuring to have plenty to use while that's being done, or if there's delays with it or issues with it, then I at least know that I've got enough to last me. And that's kind of what I've done with the rest of my supplies as well. But yeah, I think this will be my last update from here because we're flying at 7 AM tomorrow and I don't think I'm going to be in any fit state to film anything before I go. So yeah, I will speak to you soon. This update is a lot later than I wanted it to be. It's currently November 22nd and it has taken me until about 2 days ago to get my prescription sorted here in Austria, which is what I was waiting for to be able to film this final update part of the video. So yeah, I arrived here on September 21st, so it has taken pretty much exactly 2 months since I arrived to get everything sorted. So I'm just going to talk about the process a little bit and kind of what took so long. So basically, when I arrived, obviously my first priority was settling in, getting all the official documentation sorted that I needed to do. And I was kind of I will deal with the healthcare in a week or 2 once everything else is sorted. So did that, and I brought loads of supplies with me, as I think I've probably spoken about already, but if not, then I brought loads of supplies with me, so I knew that I was sorted for a while. So then once I started work, there were a few issues with paperwork, which meant that my like healthcare cover didn't get fully sorted for a couple of weeks. And so that therefore meant that I couldn't kind of get on with like finding a doctor, sorting my prescription or anything like that. Again, it was a little bit stressful, but was kind of okay because it was still very early days and I knew there was still ages to sort things. Yeah, so then basically the way the system works here is that everybody gets an e-card for their healthcare. I basically just have never received my e-card. I've emailed them, they said they sent another one, but it never arrived, so I'm in the process of trying to sort that out and figure out where it got to. But basically after a few weeks of waiting for that, I contacted them and I was like, can you at least give me my social insurance number so that I can access healthcare even if I don't have the e-card? So then they sent me my insurance number, which was really great. But then I was looking for a doctor's surgery, just like a GP type thing, in the town where I'm living. And I emailed about 4 or 5 maybe, and none of them were taking new patients because they're all oversubscribed. So eventually I spoke to one of the teachers at my school who was really lovely. And she was saying that there is one place that is like currently taking new patients. It's just a little bit outside of the town. So I got the bus there, I went and I spoke to them and they said, yeah, we can sort it for you. Gave them a list of the prescriptions that I normally get in the UK. And they were like, come back in 2 days and we'll have it sorted. I then went back 2 days later and it was not sorted because they said basically they're not allowed to prescribe insulin. It has to be done by a diabetes specialist, which I don't know why they didn't tell me that when I went to them in the first place, but it is what it is. So they then did me a referral to a diabetes specialist who is only open certain hours Monday to Thursday, and obviously I'm working, which makes it a little bit difficult. But I then tried phoning and there was like no answer, so I went to find the clinic in person and it was closed on that day. Like not normally closed, it was just closed due to like unforeseen circumstances. So then I had to wait till the Monday and then on the Monday I ended up just being busy and completely forgetting to do it. So I did it on Tuesday this week. I went and I turned up and I was like, hi, I have a referral from the place I'd been before. Can I book an appointment or do whatever I need to do? And they were like, the first appointments are in February, so we can book you in, but like, what do you need it for? And I was like, I can't really wait till February. They were so lovely. There were 2 women working on the reception and then the doctor. And a nurse, and they were all so lovely to me. The receptionist spent about an hour on the phone to like my insurance cover here and like UK GHIC insurance. I'm not entirely sure what. Trying to work out what I was kind of eligible for and how they could help me. And then the doctor saw me, basically said to wait, and then he would see me like in a gap. I got to talk to him and honestly it was probably one of the best healthcare appointments I've ever had. He was just so lovely to me. He was so understanding and reassuring, and there was no element of judgment or criticism or anything, despite the fact that my levels have been quite high. They are finally coming down, but I think the ongoing stress of the last like 3 months has not helped my blood sugars at all. But he was amazing and was just so kind, and yeah, it was so nice to just talk to a healthcare professional who honestly just really cared and really wanted to help me in any way he could. And so yeah, I had that appointment, but they basically discovered that my insurance that I'm like given through work doesn't cover medication, it only covers treatment. Which means that basically the way I'm having to do it is to pay for my insulin outright, and then hopefully I'll be able to claim it back through the GHIC. And I'm also talking to my doctors at home currently to see if they can do me more prescriptions so that I don't have to keep buying it here. But I have now got the insulin, I've got a prescription, I've got a doctor that I'm registered with, so it means that if things come up then I have somewhere to go and I know how to sort it now, which is really good, really reassuring. It's just taken an incredibly long time to get here. But yeah, that is kind of the end of my moving to Austria little update video, I guess. Outside of medical stuff, I'm really enjoying it here. I'm really enjoying the teaching. I have one school in particular that's just really lovely, and I'm quite good friends with quite a few of the staff now, which is really nice. The students are really lovely, and I'm really enjoying the process of like planning and teaching. I've also made friends with a lot of other language assistants here and in Vienna, and so we're spending quite a lot of time together exploring the area, doing cool things, and at the moment all the Christmas markets are opening, which is very exciting. And so we're spending most weekends just going backwards and forwards to different Christmas markets. But yeah, I will probably try and maybe like film a vlog or something of like what a typical week is like while I'm living here. But for now I just wanted to do a brief update on the medical situation, but mostly just to say that I did get here, I've settled reasonably well, and I'm really enjoying it, despite the challenges that living with diabetes comes with. So yeah, thanks for watching.